So, you're reading the title correctly. Welcome to a city that's taken a lot of hours to make, that has 1 million people in just the city itself, not counting the settlements or the colony. This, um, this monstrosity is a horrifying place. It is just dense housing districts as far as the eye can see, using mandatory crowding, crate rooms. Uh, we have way too many food producers and carrying coal liquefactors just to keep the city alive with enough fuel. We're making over 5,000 just to survive. We're of course are using adaptation. This is insanity. We're at the year 20,066. This is literally in the future right now. 4 million heat stamps, 2 million prefabs, 615,000 workforce that's not employed anywhere. We need 18,000 food. So for reference, this was done on citizen difficulty to minimize the shelter per capita demand, because each district we make adds more memory demand to the game. So obviously, the more we need, the more population that it's going to have to be sustained, the more RAM. So citizen difficulty was done to do this, to get to 1 million people, because that is the only way this is marginally possible. Because I'll tell you right now, cold is on the verge of growing to notable. And if that happens, 10,000 people are going to freeze to death, which is going to be horrifying. Um, we are using reason and merit as well as adaptation. Merit is because it gives us the stimulant manufactories, which if we head over to the support colony of 53,000 people, we are using a bunch of those to boost production to try and keep things sustained. It is also sending, I believe, 1,100 food back to the city itself. Yep. All to try and support a city that has gotten too big for its own stability. Tension is at catastrophic. I'm honestly amazed they're not trying to throw me down the steps of the council hall right now. But they probably will soon if I let this take any further. Even the logistics district has been turned into a housing block just to give us just enough to reach 1 million before people start freezing to death. Yeah, I don't even have a research institute anymore. I don't even have hospitals. We just built every housing district we could. The only reason the patrol watchtowers are still here is because they're decreasing tension. And if I didn't have those, I would have been thrown out before we got to this point. Uh, yeah, the community's making 7,500 food for themselves and then using the stockpile to get through the whiteouts is how we got this far. The industrial districts are the main source for goods. Materials are primarily produced from oil, but we have some settlements that are making them as well. I think we even have the steam hub still, or the extraction district to extract steam, just as an emergency in case we don't have enough oil and coal because of how cold it gets when the whiteouts arrive, despite using adaptation. We have emergency medical hubs to reduce disease. We have a bunch of these fighting hubs as well to reduce tension. That's another reason why they haven't thrown me out yet. Oh, we're using various laws, like I mentioned, very mandatory overcrowding, of course, things like foraged additives, durable goods, the infectious badge to reduce disease further, heat pipe watch to reduce heat demand despite the tension it causes. Yeah, this was fun to do. I don't know if I'd do it again. This is absolute insanity to have 1 million people in the city, and it hasn't immediately caved on itself. Shelter is scarce, and that's why cold is a problem, but I literally cannot put more shelter in this city. If I remove anything else from these goods districts, these industrial districts, disease will start to skyrocket above absent, and that could cascade into other issues. Crime is absent, though, which is, it's pretty nice. There's no hunger. And I believe our settlements here are, yeah, they cost almost nothing to maintain because of frontier strongholds and Frostland deportation. That's why we have those laws together, because it makes them very easy to sustain with pretty much nothing. Um, the actual total on map population, if I get my calculations, is closer to 1,061,100 pops. That's just an estimate. The actual number could be slightly higher or slightly lower, probably with in a margin of error of about 2 to 3,000 people. But yeah, so if you were wondering, is it possible to get 1 million pops in just the city or in the whole Frostlands? Yes, if your computer can handle it for long enough. Because I am using 32 gigabytes of RAM, and the game is allegedly eating up 4,000 right now, which is surprising. I am playing on the Glimmer Beta, if you're using DirectX 12 and you've been having issues running the game, there is a beta on Steam called Glimmer that does have a temporary, branch fix related to DX12 issues, but that is only for Windows. So if you're having problems, I would switch over to that. But yeah, wow, this is a lot. Okay, I hope this got a chuckle or at least surprised you. If you have any questions, like any further questions to this that I didn't answer right away, we are using the Proteans faction as well, which is reason, merit, and adaptation, if anyone's curious. Does slightly reduce disease when they love you. But if you have any questions, if you're wondering about anything here, if you're want anything else answered that I didn't go over, do ask me. I have made a save file for this, specifically called 1 Million Pop Run. It has the 2 city part right there, just to remind me that I do have a colony. And yeah, one more thing I'm going to do before I just kind of sign off here is we're gonna see if Cold gets notable, and if so, we're gonna let people, we're gonna let the death bell ring. All right, it is notable. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. That, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. We should get the death bell in about 10 weeks or so. It does give you a couple weeks leeway, so you can maybe get a housing district built. I will be surprised if we don't get a death bell by the autosave. But I'm kind of expecting it. Actually, you know what? We could just expedite this. Let's just expedite this. There it is. 10,004 people froze to death. That is 1% of the population just froze to death. So yeah, there you go. That's how many will die right now. I hope you enjoyed, and with that, I'm probably going to try to get something else other than Frostpunk on here that I break, because I think I've thoroughly broken this game, and I have loved every second of it. Very fun game. 11-Bit Studios did a fantastic job. Till next time.